roundup. What month are we, Sam?
We are now the end of January. Now the beginning of February. We're late.
Yeah,
Things happen.
But because there's absolutely what can only be described as a shed load of news.
January was busy. January was busy on the news front.
Which is brilliant.
Yeah. And all good news.
Yeah, it is all good news, actually, which is good news, as they say. Right, so we'll start at the top. We'll do Disney first, then Universal, and then the much loved but almost always forgotten, always the bridesmaid, never the bride, SeaWorld at the end.
Yay!
We love SeaWorld, yeah, because it's got sharks, and sharks are my favourite. Anyway, so let's start with Disney. Now, my favourite bit of news that came out of the end of last year was that Bob Iger is back. Yay, Bob! And
been very visible. He's been very visible in the parks, which has been nice. He's
also been very visible in my email. He sent me an email. He sent everybody that loves Disney an email saying that he's back and everything's going to be brilliant again, which is great. Oh, I thought you were doing a one finger then. That's a double.
No. Fingers crossed. Look, they're crossed.
Excellent. Yeah. So we love Bob Iger. If anyone's watched the Disney Imagineering even documentary on Disney Plus, they'll know Bob Iger because he's in the last 2 episodes and he's brilliant. So he's returned to his previous role, and one of the first things he said in the email that he sent me was he was alarmed by the hike in the prices and how it has affected the guests in the park. So hopefully now he's back, we'll see the prices go back to some kind of normality, or at least not go up anymore, which would be nice.
Yeah, so I don't think we'll see them drop, but hopefully there might be a price freeze.
Yeah, or we'll get value for money. Yeah, prices seem to go up and we lost stuff.
Yeah.
So obviously the fast pass went away.
I mean, so far he has rolled back a few of the things that they were charging for.
Yes.
So far. So looking good.
Yeah, so we'll hit it off with the first bit of news that came out. Don't know when this is going to happen, is that annual pass holders will be able to visit after 2:00 in the afternoon without a reservation to the park. Now, from a Disneyland Paris perspective, being an annual pass holder is a nightmare because you just can't get a bloody reservation to the park. So I've stopped paying for my annual pass because I can't actually get a reservation to go. Go on.
Yeah, sorry, Disneyland Paris, you're only guaranteed a reservation if you actually stay in a Disneyland Paris hotel.
Which defeats the object of being an annual pass
as an annual pass holder, it really does defeat the object. And I mean, we were past Disneyland Paris pass holders for years. And, that was the joy of it, was the fact you had your pass. We were booking Airbnbs or cheap hotels, and it made the trips, affordable.
And spontaneous.
And very spontaneous at times. But then if they're not guaranteeing pass holders, entry into the park unless they stay in a Disneyland Paris hotel, which is extortionate.
It's actually more expensive than going to bloody Florida.
Yes, I checked this. I looked up because I saw an offer. I think it was something like £100 a night for Disneyland Paris hotels. And I went on and I put in dates for my birthday, thinking, great, we can have a quick trip in June, couple of nights, as we normally did. Yeah. My birthday's like end of June, so nice time to go before the kids get out of school. And I put in for 4 days, or 4 nights, sorry, so it's 4 nights, 5 days, at the Cheyenne or Cheyenne and the Santa Fe, which are their value resorts, are the same prices. It's pretty much like the All-Star resorts come up with the same price. And it was £1,900 for the 4 days, 5 nights in a value per person without travel. that didn't include travel. Now, for comparison of this, we're doing flights, or hopefully flights, hotel, and tickets for pretty much the same price for 11 days in Orlando. I know which one I would choose.
Yeah.
Not now, as much as Disneyland Paris was my first ever Disney park, it's my home park and will be special in a way.
It's definitely my home park because I'm closer to it than most other places in the world.
You can spit at it. But until they sort their pricing out, it's cheaper to go to Florida. From the UK, it's cheaper to go to Florida than it is. I can't see me wanting desperately to go back until they bring the races back.
Yeah, I mean, we used to do 4 or 5 trips a year, didn't we?
Yeah.
And sometimes more. Just, we've got a free weekend in a couple of weekends. Let's see how much the ferry is. Shall we go? Okay, I found an Airbnb at Spotlight.
Ooh, I've just had a tax refund.
Yeah. So we know the pain that the Orlando annual pass holders felt, and we're so glad that you're getting your reservation system dropped. Hopefully, with that news, it means the park reservation system will be ditched into 2023 sometime. There's been lots of rumours on all the travel boards, and
yeah, there's been a lot of rumours, and I think everyone's just waiting with bated breath now. Because
it makes a huge difference if you're travelling from the UK with park reservation.
Yeah, because I mean, we
plan your whole holiday. Well, we plan it anyway, but I mean, you really have to plan it with the park reservation.
And with us, with the UK as well, we tend to buy combined tickets. So we'll get a package on tickets. So we'll buy our Universal and Disney tickets together, or Universal, Disney, Busch Gardens, SeaWorld all together. And we pay that off over a year. So we might do like a monthly payment on it. And we don't physically get tickets until we've paid it all off.
Which is usually between 6 and 8 weeks before departure.
Yeah. So we're looking at not being able to make park reservations until 6 to 8 weeks before we go. And for those who are travelling over holiday periods, especially Christmas, because I mean a lot of the UK like to visit the States during the holiday season. That would mean we'd be looking at 6 to 8 weeks before the Christmas period to book parks, which is ridiculous because it's so busy. So yeah, I hope they drop it. As much as they say that Disney as a company like it because it allows them to do allocate staff levels and everything else. I know a lot of Disney patrons don't like it, and me being one of them.
So the next bit of news that came out at the beginning of last month or the end of December, I can't remember, it seems like forever ago, is which is a brilliant one. If you're staying at Walt Disney World Hotel, you will get complimentary parking. Which I have no
money for people.
Don't understand why they charge you for parking when you're already paying arms, legs, and kidneys to stay in the hotel.
I mean, I said a lot of UK travellers do hire a car, even though car hire prices are still extortionate. And yeah, I mean, when you pay upwards of $120 a night to stay in a hotel, and then suddenly they whack $40 on car parking, it's mad, and then not only not only they've dropped the resort parking, but also theme park parking as well for guests now. They've dropped the 2 because there was a thing of if you were a resort guest and you wanted to take your car to the parks, you were then having to pay car parking at the park as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, which is like $30. So yeah, I mean, and I know a lot of the US only travel for, say, five days a week. A lot of the UK travel for 10 to 14. So, you know, you put $25 every day, that's $250 for us over 10 days.
Yeah.
Big saving.
That's money we could spend on food, just saying.
That is food money.
Yeah. Another good bit of news is for people that buy Genie Plus. Oh, don't even get me started on that. You will be receiving complimentary ride photos, which seems a bit of a no-brainer because it costs. And I'm not going to swear. I did when I read it. It costs so much money already for a bloody Disney Plus. No, that's the telly. A Genie Plus doodah for you to jump.
Yeah, I mean, it's anywhere between $15 and $30 for Genie Plus. Over the Christmas holidays, or over the holiday season, it was $30 a day. Because they do their surge pricing on it. So when it's busy, they charge more because people are more likely to buy it, obviously.
Yeah, well, there's no official start date, but if you do buy a Genie Plus, you will get the ride photo for the ride that you bought the Genie Plus for, which is good. Don't know why they didn't do that in the first place. Surely that would encourage more people to buy it. Not us, because we're tight and we like to spend our money on food and merch.
And also another perk for being in the UK is if we buy our combined park tickets, so we get offers on these park tickets. So at the moment, I know they do a lot of 14-day tickets for the price of 7 days. And I know the deal we got was adult tickets at the price for kids tickets.
Kids tickets, yeah.
But then included in that, we also got the memory maker for free. So that saved us what, $100 or $200.
Yeah, because we get one each.
We do get one each, yes.
So we are going to absolutely spank the memory maker for the days that we're in Disney. We're going to just get pictures of absolutely everything. Even, I don't know, just everything.
We will be stalking the poor photographers, bless them. But and also obviously with the memory maker, we can get the zoom in video things saved on them.
I love your hand gestures. It's very interactive, our podcast chat. We must remember that we're also going to be releasing this on Spotify. So any gestures that you're making are not going to be seen on Spotify. So you'll have to come over to the YouTube channel or our website to watch Sam throwing her arms around gesticulating.
It looked like the claw. Look at them claws.
Oh, the claw. Like from Toy Story. Okay.
Yeah, but anyone who's seen the zoom, if you've got Memory Pass or you want to get these zoom in videos done, claw pictures, they do the one by the castle, which is on the gardens outside of Plaza Gardens. So where you've got that corner of Plaza Gardens and Tomorrowland Terrace, there's I think it's used as the firework viewing area. They do one there, and they also do one in Galaxy's Edge, which is amazing.
Of course, we're going to be getting.
And that's done to the, if you're looking at the Millennium Falcon in front of you, it's done to the left-hand side up on.
Is it really the left-hand side? Because I know what you're like with your left and your right.
That's why I was using my hands. It's called
Sorry, people that are on
dyslexia. I found a name for it. My inability to tell my left from my right.
It's rubbish if she's navigating.
You get told this way and that way. If it's not my problem, you don't know which way I'm talking about. But yeah, it's up on the little terrace bit to the left-hand side of the Millennium Falcon, and they do a zoom in, then they zoom out, and you get the whole of Galaxy's Edge.
Do they do anything like that in Animal Kingdom or Hollywood Studios yet? Not that you've researched or found.
Galaxy's Edge is in Hollywood Studios. I don't know about
Epcot. But it's its own special little place. It's within the planet, far away.
I don't know whether they do the zoom in videos in the other parks, but I know of them too because I've had them done. That's
something that you can research for a future episode then.
Do like a bit of research.
Okay, so our next bit of news is it's not controversial, that's the wrong word. but it's emotive. So Splash Mountain, in its current state, closed on the 23rd of January to make way for the reimagined version of the ride based on The Princess and the Frog, which will be called Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I've ridden Splash Mountain once because I am what can only be described as the world's biggest fairy when it comes to roller coasters and stuff. I'm
Wuss.
glad I did it. Yes, I'm glad I did it because I've ridden it, and I'm glad I've done that. It's not. I love the film, which is a controversial thing, but I grew up absolutely loving the Song of the South.
I've never actually seen the film.
Haven't you?
I know, obviously.
Oh my god, yeah.
Obviously, I know the song.
Stories.
Obviously, I know the song, and I love the Splash Mountain ride, especially the crows. The crows were my favourite part. But I've never seen the film. And I mean, obviously, we grew up at the same time, and I remember like the older Disney films of Bedknobs and Broomsticks, and one of our dinosaurs is missing, and all that.
Oh my god, I love that film.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, Whoopi Goldberg has now thrown her hat into the ring with the Song of the South debate, saying that Disney should re-release it to open up conversation.
Yeah,
which I think is a great idea.
I think they're detracting away from the whole debate about slavery was a bad thing, but we've got over that now.
Don't get me started on this.
Which sounds awful, but I am a firm believer of you can't learn from your mistakes unless you know about the mistakes.
Yeah, I mean you can't erase history to suit yourself.
No.
And yes, 200, 300 years ago, bad things happened, but unless we know about those bad things, we can't not make that mistake again.
Yeah, we really don't want to go down that route again.
And
being a 5-year-old or 6-year-old, as I think I was when I first saw the Song of the South, I didn't know about slavery.
No.
I just saw there was a really cool man who happened to be black. I didn't care what colour he was.
No.
Telling some really awesome stories about some really cool animals and singing some fantastic songs. I'm really excited about the fact that they are going to replace it with another story of people with colour in it, because The Princess and the Frog is bloody brilliant.
I love The Princess and the Frog, and I think that people of colour are underrepresented in the Disney grand scheme of things, and Tiana's story brought people of colour to the forefront. Same way as Mulan represents. I mean, my daughter-in-law is half Vietnamese, and she said that Mulan was the first Disney princess that looked like her, which I think is great. That but I mean, okay, you can say it took Disney a long time to get on the bandwagon with it, but and yeah, I mean, I love the South, the deep South. I love New Orleans and the Bayou and the jazz, and so I'm hoping. I mean, I don't know. They're saying the story is going to be set after the film. Like the story of the ride is going to be set after the film, but I'm hoping they keep that jazz, deep South jazz vibe within. Oh, and recent news with Pecco Bills is going to be rethemed as well,
to be something similar to relate. Oh,
but okay. Pecco Bills has some of the best counter service food in Magic Kingdom. So I'm hoping they don't change the food. They can change the theme, but don't change the food.
Well, the thing about Splash Mountain is that they're not going to change the ride mechanism, because the inside of the ride isn't going to change. So they might upgrade and sex it up a bit, but the track will stay the same.
Yeah, the actual base of the ride will stay the same.
So it'll just be the theme and that will change. So for everybody that loves a massive log flume, to be scared to the bejesus out of yourself, plummeting 70 feet or whatever it is.
You know, I thought I'd ridden it a lot more than I had. When I went back to find like past ride photos and that,
there isn't one of me because you can't see my head because it was in my lap. Sorry,
I
interrupting.
I thought I'd ridden it a lot more. But obviously where we used to go out January, February time, it was always the time it was closed for maintenance.
Yeah, I think it was only open once because we went later in February and it was open again.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought I'd ridden it, but I loved it. It had that very quaint. I think it took me back to my childhood of that's what the films looked like, and that's what the animatronics were with us growing up. So, but it's exciting to see what they're going to do, like animatronic wise, and the actual theming of it. So yeah,
I think the debate will rage on about it, but yeah, we'll see. So moving on from being controversial. So in nighttime show fireworks spectacular news, we do love a fireworks show. Happily Ever After's coming back to the Magic Kingdom, and Epcot Forever is returning on the 3rd of April.
And they've got rid of the barges.
And we know that we know the Epcot Forever's only going to be temporary until they put another permanent show in, but we have no idea when that's going to be. So by the time we go, which is next year, I love
362 days.
We'll have a new Epcot nighttime show, of which we don't know what it is yet. So,
no, I mean they've been doing the after hours testing for the new, for the Epcot show coming back, for Epcot Forever coming back. They've been doing the after hours testing on that because the Harmonious barges have gone.
Yeah,
they have vacated the area.
There's news that they might end up somewhere else, like on the River of Light or something like that. Rumours, but we don't know. Because didn't they come from there in the first place?
Well, they were the ones that come from Animal Kingdom, wasn't it?
Yeah, from the River of Light, from
the
Pandora, because they stopped doing. Yeah, no news on that.
Yeah, because Animal Kingdom stopped doing their show.
Yeah, so no news on when we're getting that back yet either, is there? That I've seen.
And Kite Towers is now finished.
Yeah. So no current nighttime show at the Animal Kingdom, or news of when we're getting one back.
No.
I'm sure it'll be imminent. They won't not have anything there.
Got to bring something back there, haven't they?
Yeah, you'd like to think so.
I mean, the best part of Kite Towers was watching the kites crash into them.
I think that's why they got rid of it, because it was a bit of an epic failure, wasn't it?
It looked great, but everyone was just going to watch the kites crash into the seats at the end. I mean, it did look good, but yeah, it was people just going to watch kites crash at the end, which was the best part.
So what's next? Exciting ride news. It has been announced that the Tron Light Cycle roller coaster will open on April the 4th.
I can't wait for this.
I will be holding the bag. I need to wait for the point of view videos to see whether I am man enough to ride it, because as I was trying to do,
you sat down on a bike.
It doesn't matter if I'm sat down on it. If it goes like the clappers and goes up and down too much, I will spew. And nobody wants to see me spewing on one of those beautiful light cycles. I love Tron. I loved the first Tron. I loved the second Tron film. It's one of my favouriteest films.
I think it is good that they're bringing in rides for our age group, to bring back our childhoods.
Yeah. But the one in, is it in Shanghai, Disney, where it's currently? Yeah. I mean, that just looks, the dog's what's it's not going to swear.
The dog's Anglies.
Yeah. I mean, and I, as much as I want to be brave enough to ride it, I will have to wait for the videos to come out.
I mean, it is the first Disney ride where lockers are compulsory.
that's telling me instantly that I'm not going to be able to go on it.
It is the first ride where Disney are going to have lockers available, and they are compulsory. You don't get a choice to use them. I think someone said they will be free because they are compulsory, and they are
Universal for Harry Potter.
yes, yeah, and they are double-sided lockers, like on Velocicoaster. So you, as you like go into the queue, you put it in, you scan. I know at Universal you scan your park ticket and your locker door opens, you put your bag in the locker.
She's
and
gesticulating again for people that are on Spotify.
And then as you come out on the exit, the other side of your locker is there, so you just open your locker and grab.
And don't forget, you have to make a note of the number of the locker that you put your stuff in.
Yeah. Which with Menno Brain doesn't really work.
And then, although it seems like we've been talking forever about Disney news, finally, we're on to character meets and character dining, of which there is a ton of news.
I am so glad the characters are back.
Me just giving the dog a look.
Look at
so I've put in quotes in my notes that they are returning to normal pre-pandemic experiences, which is kind of ish true. So you'll see as we talk about characters, there's a bit of a theme running through here. The fact that the photo pass photographers are not back at the meet and greets yet.
They did start that pre-pandemic, that they brought in these automated photo spots where you looked at a box. They were starting to bring that in. I think they brought it in with Tinkerbell at one stage before the pandemic. I know they brought it in a couple of places where you didn't have a photo, you just looked at a box and that took your photo. But there's no warning, there's no countdown, it's not like if you've done a photo booth over here, it's like you look at the screen and you get like a 3, 2, 1 countdown, bit like in the passport photo booth sort of thing.
She's
gives you
gesticulating again for people on Spotify.
It's me trying to think. I use my hands to talk and I use my hands to think. So yeah, I know they were starting to bring them in, and it seems they've brought them back.
Yeah, does it take a random, the photo fast photographers takes lots of different pictures of you meeting and then posing? I'm assuming no, it doesn't. So it just takes like 1 or 2 pictures. So what happens if you miss?
But
your eyes are shut or something.
Exactly. Yeah. You're not going to get the
authentic photo pass photography experience.
Yeah. Well, it's like if when I went over in November 2019 and Ben proposed at the Jack and Sally meet at the Christmas party.
Mm-hmm.
We have so many photos, I think, just of where he actually proposed and he was down on one knee and my reaction to that, and then Jack and Sally's reaction to it all. I think we came out with about 60 odd photos just from that. Like me,
you're not going to get that from a little box.
You won't. No, you're not. You're not going to get that. And I mean, especially if you've got little ones, their interaction with the characters is like, sometimes it's just amazing.
I've got hundreds of pictures of Emily when she was small, meeting different characters and.
Yeah, and it's the bits when they're not posing for a photo. Sometimes
the best ones, aren't they?
Yeah, they're the best ones and they're the most special. It's so yeah. I don't know whether it's a Disney cost saving exercise that they're trying to sneak back in, because obviously if you've got a box, you haven't got to pay a photo pass photographer. I'm hoping staffing levels increase again, which would be nice because they're still, although the reports are coming in that staffing levels are increasing, I think it really needs to be brought back. So fingers crossed for staffing levels to increase, and don't make these boxes everywhere. I mean, as cute as the aerial one sounds to be, that you look at a diving helmet, which I think is great. I still think you can't replace a photographer with
No.
the camera.
Right, so
But
let's run down
regard-
the
I-
bajillion. Go on.
right, also regarding aerial in a way, the aerial show in Hollywood
Little
Studios,
Mermaid. Yep.
the little Voyage, is it Voyage of the Little Mermaid?
Voyage of the Little Mermaid, yeah, the singing plus animatronic plus puppet.
Plus lasers and all that. That is
Yeah.
permanently closed. That is permanently
No
closed.
news about what they're going to replace it with. if
No,
they are.
apparently the building has a mold problem
Oh,
where it was closed for so long over because of the pandemic.
yeah.
Apparently now it has a serious mold problem. So that may take a while to either, all they've said it's permanently closed due to a mold problem. So we don't know what they're going to be doing with that yet, but hopefully that'll
Right.
be used soon.
Okay, so now we'll continue with
Now,
and
now
so
we can move
there's quite a lot. So first up, Peak City Sideshow is back open in the circus tent in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
Again, we said there's no fast photographers, automated camera, but it has been said that cast members will still continue to take a photo of you if you so desire with your phone or camera.
That's good.
As Sam alluded to, Aerial Grotto's now back open again with a diving helmet automatic photo. Also, Enchanted Tales with Belle, which I've never done, will open on February the 19th.
I've never done that either.
No, it's meant for little kids, which is probably why. Because, you know.
Yeah, but mentally with it.
Yeah, okay, good point. There's no news on whether there will be a photo pass person in there because it's obviously a group thing. So it'll be very difficult to use an automagic box to take photos when you're in a group.
They used to have a photographer in there because obviously people get, it's very interactive with the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then people get called out from the crowd to be parts of the story. So
yeah. So hopefully at some point they'll say that they'll have a photographer back, but we'll see. We're on to food news now, which will please Sam because we do love a bit of food news. 28th of Feb, princesses will be coming back to the castle for royal dining at Cinderella's table. So they include the usual bunch of Cinderella, Ariel, Aurora, Jasmine, Snow White, and on the Disney site it says various other rotating princesses. So whether that means princesses going round and round in circles, or we'll get random princesses as and when, which I'm assuming could be anyone.
I know at breakfast you used to get the fairy godmother pop in occasionally.
Yeah, but there's lots of different Disney princesses we've got now. I'm not even going to list them. Rapunzel and Mulan and Diana and
Elsa.
And Elsa, yeah, and all those other bloody Elsa. I'm not a fan of Frozen. You'll probably realise this as we run through different versions of the podcast. I am all Frozen out. Don't even get me started when the Frozen bit comes on in the bloody fireworks at Paris. I get quite grumpy.
Not even Viking themed Frozen Let It Go can get Sharon excited.
No. Chef Mickey's dining is back at the Contemporary on the 1st of March. Now, this was the equivalent of
Cafe Mickey
Paris, which was amazing, which is now closed.
No
idea.
Gone. It's been demolished.
Yeah. To be replaced with something God knows what.
Yes, yeah, when they decide to rebuild the village.
Yeah, it's always had mixed reviews, hasn't it? It's either people have either said it's absolutely amazing or don't waste your money. So
I didn't like it.
Yeah, you didn't like it. Jury's out, but it's got Mickey, Goofy, and other, favourite Disney characters.
It's the only place where you can see the top 5. Like you can see Mickey, Minnie, Pluto, Goofy, and Donald. So you meet the Fab 5, and it's the only place you can meet them all in one place.
Yeah.
Which, if you've got little kids, is amazing. And I think that's For families who've got small children, it gets the Fab Five out the way in one hit. It is very loud.
It's breakfast only, isn't it, as well?
I'm not sure, because I know the characters used to be there all day. So I don't know whether they've just brought them back for breakfast.
I'm pretty sure on what I read, it's just for breakfast at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, we went for brunch, so we went about 10:30. I think we had like one of the last sittings. It's buffet style, which is great because you can try everything, and for picky eaters, it's brilliant because they can pick what they want. It is on the third floor. It's like monorail level of the Contemporary. It's very open, as anyone who knows the Contemporary Resort knows that inside it's all open. There's no roof to it. For me, it was a one and done. It was great to experience. It was great to meet the Fab Five. It was great to sit with the monorail going over your head as you're eating.
I do love the monorail.
But for me, it was one and done. It was very loud, very reminded me of a school canteen. That level of loud.
Yeah, I remember that's what you said. I don't like a loud breakfast.
No, I like to sit there with my coffee and my food, and I mean, I love character breakfasts. I've done them all over Walt Disney World. I've done Plaza Gardens with Winnie the Pooh and friends. I've done Cinderella's Royal Table, Ohana's for breakfast, which is one of my favourites.
Yep, definitely.
All I have to say is pineapple bread.
And stitch waffles.
I did 1900 Park Fair for breakfast. That's one that still hasn't been brought back yet. Yeah, that's the Grand Floridian one. That's the that was the Mary Poppins breakfast. And done Akashus for breakfast as well.
Yep.
Which was a princess breakfast and a great way to get into Epcot early.
Super early, yeah.
So yeah, I've done a lot of the breakfasts in Walt Disney World, and all I can say about Chef Mickey's was it was a one and done for me.
You haven't done Cape May Cafe for breakfast, have you?
I haven't. No, Cape May Cafe was one that
in the beach
was always booked and then cancelled because by the end of I always used to book it for the last morning and never.
That's traditionally my last morning breakfast when I stay at Disney.
Yeah, and obviously you got Topolino's now as well for breakfast, which that seems to be the most wanted breakfast at the moment. It's Topolino's, which is it's in the Grand Destino Tower, which is at what resort is it? It's at the new resort, but I can't think of the name of the resort. But it's in the Grand Destino Tower. And yeah, that's Mickey, Donald, Minnie, and that in their artists' outfit because it's based on South of France with Walt's trips to Spain. Riviera. It's at the Grand Riviera Resort. That's the one.
Well done. You got there in the end.
I got there in the end. But yeah, so that seems to be the most wanted character breakfast at the moment is Topolino's.
And Chef Mickey's isn't cheap for breakfast. It's $60 for an adult and 36 for a child. So you can best get your money's worth by stuffing your face when you go.
Yeah, I mean it's nice because it is. I mean if you're doing a breakfast before going into the park, then it's nice because you can walk from the Contemporary to the Magic Kingdom. It's about a 10-minute walk. We did it in 2019. So yeah, it's nice that you can just walk. It's nice the fact that you can have a character breakfast before you go into the park. Or if you've not got a park ticket and you want a character breakfast, it's nice that you can go there. I just feel there are better character breakfasts.
Right, so last up on the food and character meet and Disney news this month, it seems like we've been talking about Disney news forever, is Minnie's Springtime Dine is kicking off at Hollywood and Vine in Hollywood Studios from the 16th of March, which will replace the Hollywood themed mini dining that's there currently. It's springtime, so it's themed around the springtime picnic, and you'll see Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, and Pluto dressed up in their perfect picnic outfits.
I did the Hollywood dining one many years back. I think it might have been 2016. I think
many years back now.
It's many years back. It was the trip of the gammy toe and having to buy Crocs. That trip.
2016. That's the last time we went together.
Yeah, it was that trip. And yeah, I mean, it's great. Again, buffet. It's in the Hollywood and Vine.
Which is by the lake,
restaurant,
isn't it?
Yeah, it's by the lake. It's next door to 50 Primetime Diner. 50 Primetime Diner. It's next door to that. A little tip. Now, I don't know whether I was lucky with this or whether they do it every night. Obviously, normally you go in, you get a photo taken with one character. They've got a very big like backdrop. When you go in, you get in a photo with one character, then the other characters would come around to your table. Because I was there for the last sitting, by the end of the meal, all the characters were in front of that backdrop. So on my way out, I got a photo with all the characters as well. So I don't know whether that might be a little tip. So if you don't mind eating later, if you get that
we normally do.
Mainly because we've eaten such a big breakfast, we can't face food till the evening. No. Plus, we're normally snacking around the parks.
And we do like to eke out every available amount of park time. Like, we'll go when they're literally kicking us out.
Yeah, they'd have to do that a few times. Yeah, I mean, and obviously because we do normally go January, February time, parks are open normally till 7, 8 o'clock, so they're not mega late.
Yeah, and it tends to be quieter at that time of year when we go anyway, because it's too cold for people who live in Florida.
Poor soul.
And the kids are at school. It's before spring break. The UK's back at school. The Europeans are back at school. It's just mainly for us saddos that want to have a holiday.
The adults who love Disney is the diehard supporters.
It's not overly expensive either. It says on the site that lunch and dinner pricing starts from £55 for an adult and £36 for a kid. So it's actually cheaper than breakfast at the Contemporary. And the food is probably amazing because it tends to be. It
was very good. I mean, I love a Disney buffet anyway.
Yes.
I will be found obviously normally raiding the kids section if there's corn dog nuggets on there as well.
She has a thing about those.
I've got a thing for corn dog nuggets and tater tots. It's just so yeah, and it said again, buffets are really good if you've got picky eaters in the family, or like most kids that only eat beige food.
Or yellow food.
Nuggets,
chips, pizza.
Yeah, a bit of sweet corn if you're lucky. So yeah, I mean, I do love a buffet. So yeah, I mean, I know they're Nate from Page and Mr. Morrow. He's been doing a lot of when they bought the buffets back. So they've only recently, I think it was only November time, they actually bought the buffets back in Hollywood Studios, and he done the first buffet, and the food looks amazing on the buffets. So I definitely recommend the buffets for people if you want to do a character meal.
Do a buffet.
I'd definitely make a buffet. Yeah.
Yep. Right, we're done with Disney news. There was an awful lot of it.
We haven't missed something out.
We missed out.
Andy's backyard barbecue, or is that under food?
Oh no, we're not talking about food. Although we've talked about food a lot, we're saving all the food. We're saving the food for the later in the month. In other words, a couple of weeks when we do our episode about food. But carry on about Andy's backyard barbecue because the pictures did look bloody good. I made my mouth water and I needed to have some indigestion tablets because just thinking about it gave me indigestion.
And I tend to send her these links to food videos at about 11 o'clock at night. So, so I'm giving her like indigestion just for bedtime.
Yeah.
The new restaurant in Disney Hollywood Studios, which we saw construction photos of over the last few months, is now been announced. It will be opening, and that's Andy's Backyard Barbecue. It's at the back of Toy Story Land, and they released the menus, and it's going to be a sit down, so table service, but served family style, which is like Ohana's.
You just keep bringing plates and plates of it to your table until you say
and
stop.
it is a basically barbecue, so it's lots of meat. There is, I think it was brisket, a sausage, chicken, ribs, along with a selection of sides that included 2 salads, which I was impressed about. But you do get
a lot of vegetarian options for people that don't
there
eat meat
was
as
a
well.
lot of vegetarian options as well. There was a vegetarian sausage, vegetarian chicken, I want to say, and I think it was halloumi as well. Yeah, so I know there's but you get starters, main, sides and dessert all served family style, and the desserts are all little, like tiny, not tiny, but individual cupcakes and cheesecakes.
So you don't feel bad about eating 6 because they're only small.
It's when you have to have one of each just to try them.
Sam is a big dessert eater. I would rather eat meat and food all day. We tend to, if there's any spare desserts going, Sam will have the desserts and I'll have the things that she doesn't like off the main menu, like corn, fish. Yeah, nothing goes to waste, does it?
No, between the 2 of us, we can clear an entire buffet. We're good. But that's how you get honest food reviews here, because I'll eat everything sweet, Sharon eats everything savoury, and if it's fish, Sharon eats it. Or meat on a bone.
Oh yeah, don't. She's got a very weird thing about she can eat chicken off the bone, can't eat chicken on the bone. Can eat ribs if they're not on the bone. If the rib meat is loose, she can eat it. If it's on a bone, she can't eat it.
This is how I got excited about in Hooters with the boneless wings.
Yeah. So are we done with food news now?
Yes, done with food news now.
Okay, so now I'm sorry, Disney news is finished, and we're moving on to Universal news.
Woo.
Of which there's also quite a lot, not quite as much as Disney news, but there is quite a lot because there's an awful lot of stuff going down at Universal Orlando at the moment.
Universal building like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll get onto that shortly. So what's new in Universal? Well, it's not technically new, but the escape room on City Walk's now open, which has got 2 experiences based on Jurassic World and Back to the Future. Looks amazing. Is not included in the theme park admission, so if you want to go, you have to pay. Which is great if you haven't got a park
an escape
ticket.
room. I do love an escape room.
It's $50 each to go.
I think if you're doing an adults or older teens holiday,
definitely worth
it would be worth it. Or even as a first night, last night, rest day activity. I think it would be good. I said I do love an escape room. I've done a few over here.
All the reviews that we've read have been so positive about how much fun it is. It's difficult without being so taxing that you just want to smash your head against the wall. So it's a fully immersive experience, as you would expect.
I mean, I was waiting for one of them to do an escape room because there are 3 or 4 on International Drive. 3 or 4 different escape rooms on International Drive itself. So I was waiting for one of the parks to do their own. But yeah. So
and it stays open quite late as well. I think it stays open almost as late as City Walk does. So if you're wanting to do something on the park shuts on an early, if you're there on an off-peak time, sort of like
us, where they close at 8.
when they close at 8, and City Walk's still open till midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, then you can just pop off and do the escape room.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether it's something we'll do when we go, but it's definitely be on the to-do list at some point.
Yeah, it might
Definitely.
be a lazy day like we have. But yeah.
I love lazy days.
What's one of them?
Oh, I'm having a dog incident again. Yeah, so escape room's done. So next up on the old Universal news, I'm looking at my tablet here with the vast plethora of news on it, if you're wondering why my head's twisting, for those on the video, is Villain Con Minion Blast. That's a name to get your lips around. He's opening in the summer where Shrek 4D used to be. So
Yes.
basically opposite the Minion ride
now,
isn't it?
Yeah.
I was trying to work out where I was
Yeah,
in the grand scheme of Universal.
As you enter into Universal, as you walk down, that's they've got to rename that road. It's got to be like
they
Minion
are renaming that road. It's going to be called Illumination Avenue. So Illumination Avenue will include, according to Universal press release that I wrote, surprises inspired by popular characters from Illumination's blockbuster franchises. So there's also a Minion Cafe opening where the Monsters Cafe.
And they're actually expanding it. They've putting a lot of steel work, so they are expanding that. So
it looks like the first road you walk down when you enter the Universal Park will be Minion based and other characters around that franchise. So expect lots of meet and greets. The penguins from Madagascar used to meet out there.
The hippo from Madagascar's been out.
Gloria.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah,
I'm glad you know because I don't.
Yeah, there's been a lot of. There never used to be that many sort of characters out at Universal, but they seem to be out. There's been a lot of Kung Fu Panda characters out as well. I've seen.
Yeah, and Shrek is still meeting. They've just moved him. Shrek and Donkey are still meeting. They've just moved him.
Yep. So there looks to be like a lot of construction and a lot of work going on as you enter the park. So a Minion Blast is supposed to be opening this year, summer.
Yes, summer this year.
Yeah.
So I'd say by August.
Yeah, so definitely by the time we go, it'll be open,
yes,
which is good because I love the Minion ride. Being the world's biggest wuss and not being able to do a lot of roller coasters, I love things like that. I'm now having to watch point of view videos for every bloody ride there is in Universal to see which ones I can ride and which ones I can't. But never mind. So the Kids Zone, the Woody Woodpecker Kids Zone, has closed. That closed on the 16th of January to make way for new additions. No news on what it's going to be, but the rumour mill says it's going to be DreamWorks characters.
Yeah, right on the construction walls around it, they've got images of characters, and Trolls is featuring heavily.
Oh.
So Trolls, I said other DreamWorks characters, but I know everyone got excited about Trolls.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's coming down very fast.
So I read an article today from the guys at Orlando Park Stop that Universal have filed a patent for, and this is a bit of a mouthful, so apologies if I cock it up, digital character interacting with customer in the physical realm. That is what the patent is described. And it's and the description says it's for controlling the performance on a digital character depicted on a display device by a human operator, an artificial intelligence game engine, or a combination thereof. So basically, it's going to be very similar to Crush's Turtle Talk and the Stitch digital meet and greet that they have at Disney. So there'll be a interactive animated character,
right,
being sort of interactive with a real person. So
I love Crush's Talk. You get some really good.
And I've been Stitch's girlfriend before now, so I was very happy because I love Stitch.
There is I think it's a YouTube video, or it's either YouTube or I saw it on the reels of a little kid asking Crush. It just tickled me. If a turtle loses its shell, is it naked or homeless?
Brilliant.
That question will now keep you awake at nights.
Yeah. The massive rumor around this particular piece of patent is that some of this area is going to be replaced with some Kung Fu Panda stuff, because there's also a lot of Kung Fu Panda characters out meeting and greeting, and
There is.
And the artwork on the wall is for Kung Fu Panda
As well, yes.
Yeah, so we'll see. But the whole kids zone is having a massive refurb, which,
yeah, I mean, I
to be
think
fair, it needs.
within a week of taking it down, of the construction of it closing, the construction walls going up. I mean, they were taking stuff down before it even closed.
Yeah. It was a very unloved, underutilized part of the park, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it only had one. It had the Woody Woodpecker coaster in it,
and a couple of other little bits.
and then it had like the splash pad and the ball park bit. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see. You know, I think with the technology that we've seen in Super Nintendo Land in Hollywood, the technology there, it'll be interesting to see what they're going to be doing in Orlando.
Oh, that blends along nicely to the news about Epic Universe.
You'd have thought
for those of you that don't know, Universal are building a third park in Orlando. A third full theme park. Obviously, Volcano Bay counts as a water park. But Epic Universe, as it's lovingly dubbed, is coming along nicely. There are some amazing videos and photos. If you don't already follow Bio Reconstruct on Twitter, you need to go and follow them immediately. They do all the aerial photos and all the aerial videos of all the theme parks and surrounding exciting things in Florida, and they have got some amazing footage of the construction that's going on at Epic Universe. There's 4 themes in the land. It's all rumors at the moment. We know for a fact that one of them is going to be Super Nintendo Land. One is supposed to be based around the monsters universe, classic monsters. So, hello Ben, Frankenstein. Where did I get to? Oh, classic monsters like Frankenstein, Dracula, where Wolfman, all the usual old school classic monster type of people. One's going to be themed around How to Train Your Dragon, and the other one is allegedly going to be another Wizarding World section, potentially the Ministry of Magic, with another amazing ride that Universal have done with Harry Potter over the last few years.
And that Sharon
I'll post it in the I'll post it in the show notes and on our blog. But there is some great Bio Reconstruct videos of the park being built. There's a brilliant blog from the Theme Park Tourist which references some video footage, and on the Orlando Park Stop there's an Everything We Know About Epic Universe series of blog posts, which they do, I don't know, every couple of weeks, with a roundup of all the construction that's happened since the last time they made one. And it is rattling along nicely. I think it's supposed to be 2025. Is it 2025?
Yeah, they've said 2025, yeah.
But it's just it's going to be out of this world. Your jury's out with you. You're not convinced.
Yeah, jury's out with me. So I'm not a big gamer. Never have been. But if they do the third Harry Potter zone, then I'm there for that. That will be. And
I'm all over the How to Train Your Dragon bit. That looks amazing.
And the classic monsters, although I hate horror films, I do not.
Oh, it's not going to be like that.
I don't do that. But classic monsters like that, yeah, I can do. So yeah, classic monsters and the Harry Potter zone would be my draw to get me there. Super Nintendo World, not so much. take it or leave it. I am going to lose my geek badge, aren't I?
I think you should just hand it in now. Jeez.
My geek badge, I've lost it.
They're
But yeah,
also building Universal are building 3 hotels to go with this park. One inside the park.
Yeah.
At the end of the hub. The hub's based on there's loads and loads of different water features, and there's going to be different rides. There's going to be a ride outside the lands, like a roller coaster that runs in the hub. There's going to be a ride in the hub, loads of different restaurants inside and outside each of the zones. But there's also going to be 2 hotels.
Be like a second city walk.
Not to the extent, but there's going to be lots of stuff to do. So there's going to be lots of places to sit down and eat. Nice places to drink.
Yeah.
Lots of kiosks. I think it's going to be the kind of place that you'll go there. You could spend all day there, spend the evening just sitting out watching it. There's going to be fireworks and a water show. Yeah. So the hub water feature is going to be like the Bellagio fountain that squirts up, and then they do projections on it like they do with the Disney water features. So it looks like there's going to be a nighttime show in front of the hotel.
Yeah,
along with the fountain and fireworks. So it looks like it does look like it's going to be an awesome third gate. They really are pushing the boat out. From the videos that I've seen over the last, not that I've been stalking the Epic Universe videos, but I've been stalking the Epic Universe videos. The one I watched this morning about how the roller coasters are coming along, it's going to be like Coaster Mad. Each land's going to have a coaster or some kind of big ride in it.
That's good.
The How to Train Your Dragon one is going to be family friendly, which means I can ride it. Yay! And the Harry Potter Ministry of Magic ride, I am imagining, is going to be along the lines of the other 2 Harry Potter rides, which will be sort of immersed.
Yeah, I mean the
projections throwing you around kind of stuff. I can do that.
These are the Ministry of Magic. You actually enter through a fireplace
or a phone box, so I can imagine that.
Yes, so it works on the Flu network.
Yeah, so I'd imagine that it's just going to, the entrance and the queues are going to be epic, hence the Epic Universe. But yeah, there's lots of news. There's lots of really good sites that you can go and look and see. An Orlando Park Stop are really good because they go and browse the patents. They're like patent stalkers. They see every week what new patents have been put in, what new contractors have been brought in, so they know what kind of rides are coming along. And they do an update every week on it. So we'll post the videos and the links in the show notes and on the blog, so you can go off and have a read. But there is, Epic Universe is going to be epic.
Cool.
And now on to Sam's favourite subject, and probably mine. Universal Mardi Gras food and merchandise information drop this week.
Beads.
Oh, we're going to be bringing back an awful lot of beads, aren't we, when we go to Mardi Gras? There'll be no throwing them in the tree for us. We'll be bringing them all home. So there's a really great video from Universal Parks News today, giving you a rundown of the merch, which we'll post the link for, and some of it really does look good.
I saw this video at 1 o'clock in the morning.
And then you sent it to me.
Then I sent it to you. And my shopping list grew tenfold, and budget-wise had to be readjusted for the shopping.
Yeah. And this is this year's. This isn't even the year we're bloody going, and you're already creating a shopping list.
Not of the year yet.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, a Mardi Gras spirit jersey.
It's only got a little picture of a crocodile on it.
It's a Mardi Gras spirit jersey.
I quite like the look of the t-shirts that have got. If you watch the video, you'll see there's some t-shirts that are literally split in half, and they've got one half of the image is in colour, and the other half of the image is in black and white, and they just look really, really cool.
The skull with the top hat. Yes. Yeah. The did you see like the vest top with skull with the top hat on, like very voodoo-y tattoo design?
Yes.
I like them. I like them ones.
There was all sorts of stuff, isn't there? There's souvenir mugs. There's the cup holder. There's lanyards. There's magnets. There's badges. There's
Handbag.
pins. Yeah, there's t-shirts, jumpers, hoodies, pretty much anything you could. Shot glasses.
Yeah, I think anything they could design for Mardi Gras, they've designed
They've
it.
done it.
Which is, and yeah, I mean, there was lots of beads as well, with bead necklaces,
Oh yeah, it was bead
bead
necklaces, bead
earrings,
bracelets. Yep.
bead bracelets. So yeah, it was exciting to see, because obviously every year there's a new design for their Mardi Gras. So it was interesting to see this year's, because is it themed on mythical animals? Because there was a unicorn.
Ish. There was a alicorn. I don't know. Anyway, there's unicorns, there's dragons, there's the gator, obviously. There's
Obviously,
some other. Yeah, there's lots of maybe mythical animals ish.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting, because obviously the design then transfers onto the floats. So it'll be interesting to see the floats this year.
Yeah, looking forward to that. When are we getting a video? That one's opening day. Is it this weekend?
Saturday, tomorrow.
Oh, excellent. So by Sunday morning, we'll have Mr. Morrow's Mardi Gras food video, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Because he's very good at those. And plus all the other usual suspects will drop us food videos. So we'll have plenty of food.
Yeah, so yeah, I will be stalking. Anyway. I will be stalking it like Sunday morning.
So the food also looks good from what we've seen.
Yes, yeah, it's a little bit different this year, because they're doing World of Carnival or Carnival. So they've actually got food booths from around the world, not only from New Orleans and Deep South. So we have Belgium, Spain, Italy, Germany. Excuse me.
Surprisingly enough, has got a chicken schnitzel rather than a pork one, like what they do in Germany. But
but the arancini flight from Italy has attracted my attention. Do you like arancini? But of course you've got your like Mardi Gras staples of king cake, beignets,
the potato stick
oil, twisted taters.
Yeah.
If anyone has done Universal Halloween Horror Nights, or now because they started at Horror Nights, but now there's like a staple Universal Festival food is the twisted taters.
And they put different flavours on it.
Spiraled onto a stick and deep fried.
Yeah. With the dusting of your choice.
Yes.
Which can be anything from cheesy garlic to what's that ridiculous
spicy one, don't they? Yeah, the ghost pepper.
Yeah, you can keep that well away from me. Thank you very much. Yeah.
But,
and of course, there's an amazing amount of booze on offer, like the Hurricane cocktail or the Force. What's it called? Is it
Category 5?
Yeah, Category 5 Hurricane cocktail, which is basically a bottle of rum and other assorted things in a glass.
A bit of rum and some fruit juice.
A bit of rum. Watch the videos of people drinking it, especially if they haven't stirred it and then they hit it with a straw. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Just got some non-alcoholic beverages for people like me that don't drink booze anymore, haven't they?
There is some mocktails that look really nice. But yeah, I mean the food I'm quite excited for. It's
really
they seem you'd never have guessed, would you? But yeah, they are upping their game on the food levels. Especially as this year, not only have you got food booths in Universal Studios Park, this year they have expanded to put some into Islands of Adventure. So you can get your beignets and your king cake and your like Mardi Gras staples. You'll be able to get Islands of Adventure as well. Plus, they've put a few booths out in City Walk.
Yeah.
So, plus in City Walk, is it the Red Dead Bar? Gets a Mardi Gras theme overlay, where it's going to be called the Cursed Coconut.
Very nice.
And that will be themed, and they will have specialty drinks and food in there as well.
Excellent. So there'll be lots of food related news on our next episode, which is basically all about food, whether
Yeah,
it be character dining, dining at the park, dining out the park, dining at a festival, just basically food, all
yeah.
sorts of food.
Well, look, I mean, this over the next 2 weeks. I mean, obviously, Epcot's Festival of the
Arts, or farts as it's
or
known, which
FART.
makes me crack up every time I see someone talking about farts.
I mean, obviously, that is coming up for the end now. That's only got another 2 weeks left. So their food booths for Festival of the Arts, and I think they just announced the food booths for Flower and Garden, which is their next festival. You've got obviously the Mardi Gras booths, food at
Universal.
Thank you very much. You got the Mardi Gras booth.
I was going to say, and this leads us segueing onto our SeaWorld, which starts very shortly with their food festival.
With their food, I mean, Busch Gardens food, which has been, I've seen videos of Busch Gardens food, and that looks really good actually as well. So I'm quite impressed with Busch Gardens, their food, because they are, along with SeaWorld, Busch Gardens seems to be like the forgotten parks in Orlando, but yeah, and then SeaWorld starts their food festival, their Seven Seas food festival.
Yeah, which hopefully we'll catch when we will catch when we go on,
we will
on our little break next year. It runs from this year from the 3rd of Feb to May the 7th, so it runs for a long time. And they also throw in Mardi Gras celebrations in at the same time, don't they, over the next few weeks?
Yeah, their Mardi Gras starts the 16th of Feb to April. So they start their Mardi Gras celebrations a little bit later, but their Mardi Gras celebrations are live music, the parade, and their food is already out with their
with the
70th festival.
And there's a lot.
Yes,
there's a lot.
Yeah,
it does look really good.
Yeah. When I first saw when they released their food and I looked at it, initially it was very much, it's all seafood and all alcohol. That was my initial reaction to it. But when you actually looked deeper at the menus, there's actually a lot in there that isn't seafood. Because I don't do seafood. There's a lot in there that isn't, and then I found the cocktails in the Capri Sun pouches and got very excited.
Yeah.
And had to share it with you again at stupid o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. And bearing in mind that I don't drink anymore, I drink very rarely now. I've turned into a completely lightweight as I've got older. If I have a cocktail, it's going to have to be one that's going to last, and I can sip gently so I don't get absolutely smashed on 2 sips of it.
We could put it on a lanyard. You can just carry it around with you.
Oh my life! Yeah. So when
stand by for that photo next year.
We'll talk more about food, obviously, in our next episode, but we are planning on doing, because I don't do coasters and SeaWorld is predominantly coasters now. Obviously, there's still a lot of animal conservation stuff that goes on at SeaWorld, which is another controversial topic, which we won't even entertain the idea of going into now.
Yeah, let's not do the SeaWorld.
When we're at SeaWorld, generally I've gone and watched the shows, gone and played with the sharks, because I am a bit of a shark fan, and just generally awed at the animals and the awesome scenery, whereas people that I tend to go with ride the roller coasters and I hold their bags. So I'm really excited about the fact that there is a ridiculous amount of food that we can peruse.
Yeah, and I mean the live music as well looks really good. That's like dotted around. It's not just on a main stage. It is dotted around at SeaWorld. So yeah, I'm excited. I love SeaWorld, and it does get a lot of flack. Whether that's justified or not, I think is personal opinion.
Yeah.
But they do a lot of good, and yeah,
their attitude towards the park has changed drastically over the past few years. We won't go into too much detail, but they've changed the whole. They don't do shows like they used to. It's more about conservation and how animals behave in the wild and what they do to protect that now.
Yeah,
So
and yeah, I mean, you can get into the animal debate with zoos. Not only SeaWorld, but I mean, you can do it with zoos and
even the
anywhere.
animal kingdom.
Yeah,
There's
even
been,
so.
yeah, so
it's a controversial subject, and it's like Marmite, you either love it or hate it, I think.
yeah.
But yeah, and I mean, I am excited for the coasters because it's been quite a few years since I did SeaWorld. So
There's been loads opened up since you've
there's
been
been
last.
loads built.
Got
So yeah,
Mako, which has been open for what feels like forever now. Wouldn't catch me on that.
yeah.
Which was the world's fastest roller coaster, but I think has been beaten. They've got another new one open. Can't remember. It was some ice thing. Can't remember what it's
I think
called.
it's 11 years since I've been there. I think it's 11 years since I've been to
There will
SeaWorld.
be when we go. I think there'll be 6 roller coasters. The newest of which is the Pipeline one, which is opening in I say the spring, but when do Americans class spring? We'd class
So
it as Easter.
we class it Easter. They class it about June.
Yeah.
About May, June time.
So the Pipeline coaster is due to open in spring. I'm using Dr. Evil quotes there for people that are watching this. And for people that aren't, I'm using the Dr. Evil quotes here. So SeaWorld is really pushing itself now to be the coaster capital of Orlando. To basically placate the people that don't like what they do with animals, which is fair enough. They've made a change. Great for them. Bad for me because I like animals, but hey ho. So the Pipeline surf roller coaster, shockingly enough, is a stand-up coaster. So you'll be riding the roller coaster like a surfboard, which terrifies the bejesus out of me. I've seen
I want to see how this works because obviously
video.
being a shorter person.
Oh yeah. Well, there's a height restriction from the simulation videos I've seen. I think once you're over the allotted height of whatever it is, the standard roller coaster height, 1.5 meters, which is what 4'11", I think.
Yeah, it's
You
normally
should be good.
140, isn't it?
Yeah, whatever it is, can't remember what size it is. Don't quote me on the size.
Yeah, so I want to know how they're going to adjust the height thing.
It looks like you have like not a seat per se, but you have something to sort of like support your bum, and then it's
So
at the back. A perch. That's a brilliant from the simulator video that's on the SeaWorld site, and we'll obviously post the link. You're basically standing on a surfboard. You've got an over the shoulder harness, obviously, because it goes upside down.
It goes upside down. You can tell I haven't seen this. I need to go and look.
Really? I've been in our show notes for bloody weeks. You haven't seen the video?
No, I'm gonna have to go and watch it because
the track's complete. There's a really good video on the Attractions Magazine YouTube channel, which we'll post as well, which has got the track complete. And it does look, I mean, if you're into coasters, this is going to blow your bloody tiny mind. It looks amazing. Every time someone brings out a new roller coaster, I'm like, who on earth bought this? But
and why?
Why
did they do
it? But it fits. It fits with SeaWorld.
SeaWorld's
all about the sea. I mean, Kraken and Manta, they're all in Mako. They're all sea based. They're all sea animal based roller coasters. So this just slots in, and the other one, which I can never remember what it's bloody called.
That the new one?
Icy. The icy one, yeah.
Icebreaker,
that's it. Yeah, that's far too much spinny upside down, making me want to chunder for my liking. I just got dizzy looking at it. But yeah, so but
and this is why Sharon's our bag lady.
Yeah. Oh, don't. How many times did I hold the bag when you lot went on the Hulk when we went to Universal last?
Lots.
Yeah.
And Dr. Boom.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah. So if you're into coasters, then SeaWorld is going to be the place to go. Yeah. And there's lots of stuff to do at SeaWorld for people that don't like coasters. There's still loads of aquariums to teach you about different types. They've got the most amazing aquarium that's just got about 1 billion different sorts of seahorses in that are all endangered in the wild, and they breed them and they release them back. So SeaWorld does do some good, and it entertains the likes of me that can't go on a bloody roller coaster. Yeah. The only other piece of news that we've got, which is a bit of a bummer, is if you're based in the UK, the happy news that passport prices have now gone up.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Especially because when we left the EU, they brought in the new rules that your passport is only valid from 10 years of issue, not your actual expiry dates.
Well, it's fine for everywhere else in the world, but not if you're traveling to Europe, which is crap.
Yeah.
Because I travel to Europe quite a lot, and mine's got extra
so
days
I
on
actually lost 8 months on my passport, which is a bit of a bugger.
Yeah, you need to buy a new one, don't you? I've got a reminder set to remind you to buy a new one.
I do.
Yeah.
I have to get mine renewed, but it means I get a blue one instead of a red one.
I've got my red one till 2028. I'm going to hang on to the bugger. Yeah, so if you're doing an online application, it's gone up £7 something. Yeah, £7. So rather than it being £75.50, it's now £82.50 for adults. And from £49 to £53.50 for kids. And of course, kids ones only last for 5 years.
Yes.
So, which is annoying. And if you're doing a postal application, they charge you more. So do it online, people. Yeah.
Yes.
So if you're doing a postal application, it's now £93.
Yeah, it'll soon be over the £100 for a passport.
Yeah, and 64 for kids. So if you've already got a passport and you need to renew it, do it online. It takes 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You just need a photo.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to go to a photo booth to take a photo now. You can take a photo against a white background. House.
Yeah.
So you can do it. And if you've got a driving license and things, they can even use your driving license photo if it's a recent one.
Mine isn't.
Oh, no, everything for you. Yeah, so that is the epic news roundup for the end of January, beginning of February.
So much happened in January. It was especially Disney, they was announcing something new. It seemed every day.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's loads of stuff that we've forgotten, but it's
quite
coming from the UK, we find it so hard to collate all the information in one place because you get news from 8, 9, 10 different sources. And sometimes going onto these websites, they go, oh, there's some news about this. And you have to scroll down 700 adverts and a load of other crap just to find this little tiny line of the bit of news that you want.
Or it's like we catch someone's opinion on a bit of news that we've missed.
Yeah.
And we're like, what are they talking about? And then we have to go and find that bit of news, which sometimes could be 2 or 3 weeks old. But yeah, I mean, January was just mad for news coming out. It just seemed to be constantly one thing after another. Yeah. Which is good because it was all positive.
Yeah.
But yeah, it did seem, it was like just Disney have said this, and then the next day it was like, and Disney have released this, and then the next day, and Universal have done this, and it was just constant. It was like, okay, everything's changing, but obviously for the good. But yeah, January was mad for news. I don't know whether February's going to be quiet now.
February's probably going to be dead. We'll release. But
February has started off very big with obviously Mardi Gras, because Universal kept that very, very quiet. Normally we'd expect to hear mid-January about merch and food,
and a couple of days ago, wasn't it?
They released the merch the week before, and food they only announced 2 days ago. So it's like 3-4 days before Mardi Gras actually starts, they release the food. So that was really late. And if they do that next year, I'm going to be now biting on the plane trying to...
Yeah, so
the menus.
This quick news roundup has lasted what feels like forever. So apologies for that. So we're anticipating that February's news, which you'll get at the beginning of March roundup, should be shorter, but hopefully just as positive. I'm assuming that we're going to have lots of Epic Universe news because they're going to have done so much in a month.
Yeah, I mean, I think there'll be more Epic Universe news, and I think we'll get more of an idea. I mean, Splash Mountain, they've started taking down already.
They literally started soon as the last ride, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I think they got the last boat off, and that was it. I mean, they've already put a crane in. There's already a crane in there.
They don't hang around those blokes at Imagineering and girls at Imagineering, do they? They're like,
yeah. So, but I think they've set themselves a very short time scale for that as well. But I think that might be in response to a quote from someone that Universal can build an entire park in the time it takes Disney to build a ride. Bit of shade going on there. So yeah, I think it'd be exciting. I mean, obviously we've got the Easter celebrations that you know, they tend to celebrate nicely over in America is Easter. Got Flower and Garden Festival.
oh yeah,
There
about that as well.
Yeah, so that more will be we'll find out more about that in February. Hopefully there'll be more characters news, which would be nice.
Yep.
I just want them to open up 1900 Park Fair again. That's the last one. That's all we're missing now is 1900 Park Fair.
I've never done that one.
And
as far as SeaWorld goes, I think Elmo's birthday is on in March as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, because I mean, you've got the Sesame Street area in SeaWorld for the little ones, but the parade looks quite fun. They do a little parade of Sesame Street characters, which looks quite good. And obviously more 100 Years of Disney merch.
Oh yeah, we've not even touched on the 100 Years of Disney merch yet.
No, we've not even gone there with that one.
We can save that for another episode.
A merch video.
Oh my gosh. Well, that will probably be one of our episodes. Will be a merch video, won't it?
Yes. But yeah, so I think we're going to keep going with the news. I think I can't see anything bad really on the horizon. I mean, I hope obviously Bob carries on the way he started.
New old Bob.
New Bob. Yeah, new old Bob. I hope Bob Iger carries on with the way, you know, he's starting to you know, actually bring back some of that magic that everyone felt Disney lost.
Yeah, I think having Universal snapping at their heels with Epic Universe and the plans that they've got for other parks, from opening a park up in Texas of all places.
Yeah, Texas,
and a horror, like Halloween horror night thing going on in Las Vegas. I read as well.
Yes, yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, I said fingers crossed I get a trip to Vegas next year, but that's part one of I'd like to do it, but it's Universal's Horror Nights, so no.
Apparently it's not going to be scary, it's going to be more like classic monsters.
Yeah, I'd have to look into that one because I don't do horror at all.
But hopefully
no,
we might have some more news on that for next month. I'm assuming we'll be quiet February news, but who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, they've already got their Valentine's bits on for is it what they calling it? Partners Night or Partners something in but they've brought out a special popcorn bucket for it, and so yeah. And more details on more dates for the after hours events at Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, so
yes.
Hopefully February will be full of hopefully not as much good news. Otherwise you'll be like, I'm not watching their news videos. They last like 7 years. It's supposed to be a quick news roundup, but there has been an awful lot of news. So
but this is because January does has like 48 days in it.
764, I think you'll find.
We're back to normal months now.
Yeah. After the epically long trench that is January. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. So we'll be back in a couple of weeks, assuming we sort our lives out. excuse the
Yes.
fire in the background on Sam's
Yeah.
video,
So
to
the
talk
pirate.
about our favourite subject,
I'm excited for this one.
all about the food.
All about the food.
Yeah.
Like,
Right. So
special food.
we'll see you very soon. I
Yes, see you
hope.
soon.
Bye for now.
Bye.